Hi YouTube. So today I thought I would do a video for you about like my past um, some journals that I did in RMIT when I was studying in Australia. I'm back in Malaysia now, by the way, and so yeah. So I guess I just go ahead start with one of my oldest journal, and this is like my music journal. So basically, I was doing a studio to actor with sound. It's called Around Sound. So um, yeah, basically it was just a journal of my sound experience. How I experience sound. So to start off with, I made this book out of like I just took a couple of A4 paper, fold it in half, and like sewn it together and make my own book. So everything is hand sewn, and like I decorated myself. So as you can see, you can still see like the stitchings. Um, anyway, so just a quick flip through. I do write a lot and like and put some photographs. This is a photograph of me being my high school orchestra, traditional orchestra. Yeah, and so just to flip through, I wrote here like I like the sound of gibbon in the forest. And that's one of my favorite sounds. And then I like the sound of Diablo and the Diablo juggler, and so that's why, yeah, I really like the sound of it. And this is I did some sketches of like my initial idea before I started the class of like what kind of instrument that I might make, because the Round Sound Studio was actually a studio to create instruments. But yeah, so some of the wacky ideas I came up with was voice frequency, and then you receive the sound waves through this thing here, and then based on the vibration, it produces ripples or patterns on the water. It kind of works like what do you call this? Um, it kind of works like the ripples on the waters. With the frequency, it's called cymatics. Yeah, so stuff like that. And then um, there was this guy that I drew. It's like a pipe, like the organ pipe, like a bagpipe, but it's played with your shoulder. So I thought it would be cool to have someone actually dancing and flapping your shoulders backwards to actually exercise and pump the air up to all these tubes, and you can control it with the stick. Don't know how that works, but it sounds cool. So these are just some of the research that I did, just going on field trips looking for inspiration. And then this is one of the class, like the workshops that we did in class, and someone actually made a windpipe, like a whistle, and this was us testing some prototypes in class. I did the lamest, like me and my friend couldn't come up with anything, so we just put like beads in balloons and we just hit them as percussion instruments. We kind of ran out of time, so it was like, oh, whatever. But yeah, that was cool. And then went to the music festival, Mumbai, to kind of do some research, more writing, handmade instruments from online, doing more research. Um, this was like we visited um, town hall in Melbourne, and basically inside that's like a big organ. Um, that was really cool. Like we get to visit like the internal workings of it. Like this was the inside of the organ. Right? We went through the back room, and it was really cool. It was like a whole, a whole room full of pipes to produce the amazing sound of the organs. And yeah, basically, I just talked a bit about my trip to Barcelona in the churches of Europe, and the Escola de la Música in Barcelona. And this one also, I was so amazed. I really like this this theater. It's amazing. I love it. And then this was like a picture of ocarina, and it was really big. I saw them. I saw this guy playing it in his shop. Like he was the shop owner, and this was when I was in Taiwan. It's pretty interesting. He's a really interesting guy. If you would like to find him, he's in a little town called Jiufen, and he sells the most amazing ocarinas ever. Oh, I have his thing here. Sorry to be distracted, but his ocarina is like that, so you can actually play it like that. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, sorry for the distraction. Um, I really like his ocarinas, and then this was just a brochure kind of thing that I just attached it in to make it look nice. Anyways, not important. Moving on, more writing, blah blah blah. This was when I went to Cirque du Soleil, and I just kind of like how the movements of the circus actually, um, they played the music by, so live music to go with the beat of the rhythm that the circus performer has to kind of make the whole show go together. I really like the Cirque du Soleil oval show. It's pretty amazing, and yeah. Um, then I started looking into performing arts because of Cirque du Soleil just gave me so much of inspiration in terms of movement and how movement and sound goes so well together. And so I started looking into picking opera and Chinese music and how to use Chinese influence into my project. And this was a guy, he was my instructor for self-defense class, so he took a lot of Brazilian, what's that called, capoeira, and like he was playing this very interesting instrument. Like I had a go at it, and it was like really heavy, and so you balance it on your finger, kind of, and then you kind of have to flip it. So no, like, you have to hold it like that, and then it's like a big instrument, and you have to with the other hand with the kind of like drum to play it. Yeah, interesting. But and I started, I think, looking more into movement based and performing arts stuff. This was when I went to the shuttle, like to the badminton court, and just squeaky sounds. It's very interesting to be listening to the sounds of a court, the sounds of the tennis court, or the acoustics in the space. It's just, if you really listen to it, you have appreciation for this kind of stuff. The shuttlecock, how it flies, and depending on what sound, it tells you how much impact it has. So then from there, I really was interested in the performing arts section. So I looked into picking opera and a lot of research about the roles of picking opera and the movements like that it makes. And also puppeteering, like that's Taiwanese puppeteers. So yeah, looking more into it. I find also like I just research a lot on like different things like puppets, like also just performing arts and how hunters, how they listening to sounds to hunt animals because movement creates a lot of sound. Um, this guy is amazing. I like him so much. Um, he's the best at beatboxing and creating sound effects. But yeah, more writing. this was when I went to watch Lee Ho on the concert. And I just did like why I thought his music was amazing to be fusing the Chinese speaking opera genre with hip hop. For me, that's a really interesting composition of sounds. Week 5. So this was week 5 of my instrument studies. We had someone coming in who was a percussionist for Stomp, and she was amazing. Like she taught us all these interesting things with the thunder drum, and also using a violin bow to rub on different surfaces. And then had a mm, I went to juggling club and someone showed me this metal ball filled with all these little ball bearings. And it sounds really interesting. It's amazing. This one was one of the field trips that we took as well. So tons and tons of research stuff. So anyways, I moved on to starting to design my concept yarn because I was so into the performing arts um, section of my research. I focused everything on making it, more performance-based. And then also I came up with this hornbill dance. It was like I came up with the concept of a sound suit. And it's based on the movements of a bird because birds and humans are the only animals, or animals that sings. So it has a tune, like to recognize tune, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, mm, I started making my suit based on a hornbill. I don't know why, but okay, sounds interesting. Then at the time it was good. Like I started doing some sewing, some prototyping and cutting. This was my first time learning how to sew, so it took me. I had to unpick it 4 times. My garment. Oh my goodness, it was crazy. But I got it done in the end. It looks really good. And this was my favorite percussionist, Evelyn Glennie. Wow, I watched her TED Talk and it was like the most inspirational TED Talk I have ever heard. More notes. Yeah, that was the final. That was my final sound suit made. Great. And so yeah, that was the first book. That's my music journal. And it's already 13 minutes. So I think I'll end here and I'll continue it on the next post about my other journals. Thank you. See you next time.